When I built this game room, it was really important to me that I didn't lock myself into a specific layout. I wanted to live in the space for a while to make sure I knew exactly how I wanted to use the room. After filming videos down here for a few months now, I've realized that there are some things that just don't work out the way I hoped they would. So today I'm making some updates to my game room so that hopefully it makes a little bit more sense while I'm working down here moving forward. For me, this room isn't just a place where I play my games or store my collection. I also film all of my gaming videos down here, edit videos for my gaming channel, and edit the build videos on my main channel as well. So that means this room needs to be able to function as a game room, collection display, an editing space, and a film studio, and that's where all the problems come in. This room is pretty narrow and long, and I didn't think enough about how that was going to affect filming. Ideally, I would like to have my retro games and my retro TV as the backdrop for my videos, but there's not really enough room for me to set up my camera on this side of the room, with it being this narrow and having my desk and my couch on the other side across from it. So I usually end up needing to put my camera at an awkward angle in the area of the room where I have space and just kind of try to get my background in the shot, and you don't end up seeing most of the games back there. And on top of that, doing it over here is still a pain because whenever I need to try to adjust my light stand, I actually have to go around my couch, and the camera itself obviously has a tripod on it as well, and I can never quite get anything in the right position because I always have stuff in the way. I think the game collection would be much better if I put it on this back wall instead of on the wall that it's on right now, because that would give me a ton of space to put my camera equipment down on the other side of the room, and it also would give this room more of a visual centerpiece. When you walk in, you can see the collection here and you don't have to actually walk around to see it. But before I move anything around, the first thing I need to do is clear up some floor space by condensing all of my camera equipment, and I have a pretty good idea for how I'm going to do that. So this is the whole rig all completely put together. It looks a little bit ridiculous when you first look at it, but it has everything on it that I need. I was going to have my XLR microphone on here, but I'm waiting for an attachment for that for my camera, so I'm going to be using the wireless microphone in the meantime. If I want to change the height, all I have to do is untwist these side parts, and then this pole comes up or down. I hooked up this monitor to the camera, so when I turn the camera on, it should automatically turn on here, and then I can see my shot and frame it up. And then if I turn on these lights on this side and over here, then I can actually have my shot fully lit the way it's supposed to be. I chose this as my main light mainly because it's really narrow, and the other one I had came out like this far. So with it being this narrow, I can move this whole stand around and it's not really going to affect where I can put this. And then I have the whole thing on a swing arm so that I can just loosen this, and then I can angle this however I want. And I can even rotate it to make it closer to me, further away from me. And my secondary light over here is more of a color temperature light. I can change the color and the brightness of that. If I have a light in my background, I can kind of match the color of that. So you might be wondering how I have this monitor running and powered, but if I spin this around, you can actually see one of the other reasons why I chose this light is because it has the input so that you can plug it into a wall. But I wanted this to be completely cordless. So if you look at it, there's no wires on the floor, and this doesn't need to be plugged into a wall. So I can literally just go anywhere with this. There's 2 slots for camera batteries on this light that power the light, but I got these special batteries to go with it that allow me to have an output as well. So I have a USB-C out that I'm hooked up to my monitor with, and that's powering it so that I can actually use it for my video feed. And if I want to, I can also plug the camera in, because as we can see right now, my camera is at 2%. This monitor is also cool because it's actually a portable gaming monitor that I bought years ago and just haven't been using so much lately. But that gives me an interesting feature. There's actually a volume button on here, so I can monitor it like this. So I'll know if my audio is messed up. This is definitely unnecessary because my camera does have a screen coming out on the side, but it's just really tiny. So I'm always like trying to get it really close. And then if I'm doing a shot that's way back here, then I can't see where I am on the framing and stuff. So it's just way nicer to have it that big. And the biggest benefit of this being mobile like this is that all of these arms kind of collapse down, so that if I want to put it up against the wall, I can just loosen this, and then this gets a lot smaller. Oh, I hit that ceiling. And then this just can go in the corner of the room, and it takes up this much space versus before all those tripods were coming all the way out to here in the room. One of the cool things about this too is that it has heavy duty caster wheels on it. That's kind of like my workbenches in my shop. And these wheels actually lock in place. So once I get this exactly where I want it to be, I can just step on these. They're all locked in. So you have to actually try to slide this on the ground to get it to move. And this thing is actually very sturdy. I thought I might have to put some weight on the bottom just in case this was too top heavy up here, but this really isn't gonna fall, so it's not really an issue for me. I can easily just disconnect the monitor with this HDMI cable right there, and then I just untwist that, and then I've got the camera free, and I can go ahead and do all of my handheld shots and stuff. And then I throw this right back on here, and then I'm right back into studio mode that quickly. And right now I have a wider lens on here so that I can be kind of close for when I do have my microphone hooked up. It's probably going to come out to about here, which is a good distance for where I can see everything here. But I actually like to get more of like a telephoto shot. So I have another lens that's a little bit of a tighter lens that theoretically when I put it right here, I'll be able to kind of step a little bit further back from the setup and have more of a flat look from back here. So let me just record from this camera right now so you can see how the setup looks from that camera versus what it looks like out here. So once I cut the lights in here and I only have the lights on from my actual rig here, this is what my shot looks like. And what's cool is because the lights are already mounted on here, if I move this rig, the lighting stays the same. If I move around the room, I can turn and I can get a totally different background quickly and easily. This actually takes up less floor space than any one of my tripods did before. So I can actually get this into areas of the room that I couldn't get before. And I'm actually going around the couch right now and I've got this in front of the desk, and I actually have the games as my background here. Now, obviously I still want to get my background over there because that would be more optimal, but this is already better than it was when I got started. And the cool thing about my lights is that I can adjust the light and color. So right now this is kind of normal lighting, but let's say if I turn off my secondary light here, then I just have my main light and it looks a little bit more dramatic. There's more of a shadow on my face right here, and I can easily see what my lighting looks like from my monitor. I think that this main light needs a little bit more diffusion because it's a little bit harsh right now, so I'm gonna get an attachment for that later on. But what is cool is that I can adjust the amount of light coming through by moving these panels on here. I can also, if I wanted to, roll this light over to near where my games are, and then I can adjust my camera so that it's angled down more. Then I could get top-down shots if I'm like sitting down here. I know this is a little bit random, but I'm just showing you how I can change the shots on the fly really quickly and have different scenes as if I'm moving my tripod, moving my lights, but I'm not moving anything. I just have my stuff right there. And then let's say I want to go back to standing. It's literally that quick. I'm right back to it, and I have a completely different shot. But ideally, I would like to have my main shot, have the camera right here, most likely have this other light on, and I could be kind of here-ish and have my display in the background. So my next step is to go ahead and move my furniture over there and kind of see how I want to build it moving forward to create the perfect backdrop. But this is the perfect shot. Okay, after reorganizing the room down here, it feels like the room is almost perfect. I'm really glad I decided to put all of my games on this back wall over here, and then having my big TV centered with the couch right across from it gives me a good amount of space for my other chairs to naturally kind of sit in the room. And this one is directly right in front of my retro gaming TV, so I don't have to drag it out to view my TV anymore. And we have the carpet right in front of that, so it's got a nice cozy feeling over here now. So this side of the room is already perfect, but my issue comes in with the other side of the room. If we spin around here, you can see that my desk is on this side, and what I initially wanted to do with my desk was have it on the wall over here, but with the couch where I wanted it to be, there's really not enough room for the desk to be over there and still allow the door to swing open. But then I had the idea that I actually wanted my desk to go along this back wall over here, and then that way I could also have additional shots where I'm sitting at the desk and we have the majority of the cool stuff in the room behind me. But unfortunately, when I made this desk, I wanted to keep it as big as possible because the wood that I was using for the desktop was just really cool. So I ended up making it a little bit over 7 feet long, but I made that wall over there about a 6-foot wall. And that's really the best place for this desk to go after looking at everything and how I want to have it laid out. So I decided I'm going to cut some of the end of this desk off. I really don't want to do it, but 7 feet is just an insane size for a desk, especially because I'm only using 3/4 of the length of this, and I'm literally only keeping the other part of it because I think it looks cool. So if I cut it down to 6 feet, it'll fit on this wall, and then if I ever move this entire room into a different house, it'll be a lot easier to manage a 6-foot desk instead of a 7.5-foot desk. Okay, after making that cut on the desk, it was able to fit into this corner, but I'm going to have to go ahead and end the video here. This video is a much smaller part of a bigger video series that I'm putting out on my main channel, where I'm basically rebuilding all of the furniture that's in my basement game room, but I'm going to be putting the updates to the game room here on this channel, like this video that you just watched. And don't worry, this doesn't mean that I'm quitting on my PS2 collection series. In fact, I'm doing the opposite. I'm adding more series to the channel, one of those being game room updates. So you guys will be seeing the changes that I make down here, but I'm not going to actually put out any build footage content. All of that stuff is going to be on my main YouTube channel. So if you guys want to see me build some furniture, then check out my main channel, and I'll put the link to that channel in the description. The next section is going to be all about how I'm rebuilding this desk corner now that I got it into place. I'm going to be redoing the walls and everything, as well as something special with the desk itself. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next update. Later.